Good evening. Oh man, 3 streams in one day. This is a lot. I'm also trying to something a little new. I'm trying to stream in vertical, in a vertical landscape, from my computer, which is just a little different. So I'm not sure how this is gonna. I'm not sure the best way to like show my screen in a readable way either. So we'll see. I'm also trying to stream to TikTok instead of Twitch. But I don't see. Am I actually live on TikTok? Hold on. TikTok live monitor. It says you're live now. Am I though? Because I don't. Is it supposed to show up on your actual Twitch profile? Or I mean your TikTok profile? Because I don't see it. Let's see. Oh yeah, it is live. Okay, cool. I need to update my. Stream title. Let's see. Let's close that. Let's update our titles. Let's call it. Oh, hey, Boss Sports Cards. What's up, man? How are you? The Boss Gaming. Hello. Hello, Boss Gaming. How are you doing? I'm sorry I didn't see you guys. I was fucking around with my TikTok live stream trying to get my shit figured out here. You'd think I've done this before. Let's see. Good, how are you? I'm doing well. Let's see, did the Celtics play today? Celtics game. Oh no, I guess they played Thursday. Okay. Yeah, I wondered if there's any sports going on there in Boston sports cards world. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to something a little bit different with the stream format tonight. I decided to try to do it in vertical, in portrait. I'm not sure how that's gonna work though for like working on projects and stuff. So we'll see. But it seems like I get a lot more interaction, and a lot more people in my chat when I stream vertically. So I'm gonna try this for a little bit and see how it goes. The Boss Gaming, are you still here? Woke Black Man, will God restore my amputated big toe with prayer? I don't think that's how it works. I don't think you can pray your way back to Ninja 8 VR. Hi, how are you doing? Boston Sports Cars, you are the best streamer. Hey, I appreciate that. I don't know if I compare myself to people like the Primogen or Tim the Tapman. I have a long way to go, but I appreciate that, Boston Sports Cards. Shadow Ninja VR. I was going to ask you, do you play VR? Do you have a VR headset? Our family just got one, and I'm kind of a believer now. I'm all about the metaverse now. Although I want the headset to be a little bit more comfy, smaller. Like if you could give me if you could give me what we have in the Quest headset, but put that in the Ray-Ban form factor, I'd be sold big time. Just gonna take a look at my stream real quick, make sure the audio's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. Okay. I don't really have much. Let's see. You read all my comments and other people's. You're nice and are nice. I appreciate that. I do try to read all the comments. I try to interact with everybody, and I try to just be like, I mean, nice is a good word to put it, but I just try to be the same person that I am in real life, and try to interact with people the same way I would in real life. Do I play NBA 2K25? I do not, but both my kids do. Both my kiddos, they actually just got NBA 2K25 on their PS5s the other day. So they're all about those games. Play Madden. I mean, it's not like that. Like I don't like NBA 2K25. I just don't play it. What about you, Boston Sports Cards? Do you play NBA 2K25? Is that your jam? I think we're gonna work on this little guy today. Excuse me. Where was I? I don't even remember where I was on this project. You play it? Nice, bosses. Oh man, PS4 is good, man. Don't knock that, you know? Me and my kids are so spoiled with all the electronics. We buy way too much electronics. PS4 is plenty fine. I mean, that's what my Xbox is like the base lowest model Xbox you can get. Nice play online. What's the online play like? Are people pretty toxic online? Is it like Call of Duty? Because Call of Duty gets pretty bad. It's pretty toxic on there online. I don't even remember where I was in this project. So we should allow provider key to be optional. I think that was the big thing where I was on this project, was I wanted to be able to configure this from the command line. Yeah. Some random 10-year-old's rage. Yeah. Well, I've got a 6 and an 8-year-old that sometimes rage. There's lots of education that happens in our household about having good online gaming etiquette, which I shouldn't pat myself on the back too much, because there are times when I rage. definitely times when I rage. Let's see if we can do what my to-do says here. So config. We're gonna have a config command.cs. I get mad too. I mean, that's part of being competitive, right? It's just there's a not Onyx float. There's a constructive way to express your frustration, and then there's a non-constructive way to express it. You know what I mean? You know, we live and learn. You know what I mean? Okay, sealed class. Sealed class config class config command. That's gonna implement. This is probably gonna be asynchronous because I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna write to disk. Is it cold there in Boston? Boston Sports Cards? Because it's cold here in Kansas. We just got a bunch of snow. It is very cold. It was like 3 degrees today or something crazy like that. Okay. So I basically want to be able to do this. Config. I want the provider. I want the key. And then I want to be able optionally to be default. So that means I need some settings. So this is going to be, how did I do it over here? This is going to be a settings, command settings. Yeah, so class settings. Yep, exactly that. Thank you, Copilot. Copilot must have saw my comment in the other buffer. I think in NeoVim, Copilot can read this buffer, so it must have seen this line, and that's how it figured out how to generate that completion. I mean, that's where Copilot just really shows its value, man. It's crazy how good Copilot is. I need to go. Sorry. Thanks for being nice. Okay, man. See you, Boss Sports Cards. Thanks for dropping in this evening. Appreciate it. Is anybody else here? I don't know if anybody else is hanging out. I saw the boss gaming said hello, but I don't see him anymore. Shadow Ninja 8 VR, you said hi, but then that was it. Yeah, I only see Boston Sports Cards. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so what am I doing? What I'm doing is I'm actually working on this little project that I have going on to generate alt text using an LLM. And so I built an API, and I have the API deployed, and now I'm building a small little console app that'll let me pass the path to an image, and then it'll send it over to my API, and then it'll just print out the text for me. But every time I call my console app, I don't want to have to pass my API key and the provider I want to use. I want to just be able to set those in some sort of configuration. So that's what I'm working on right now. Jameson, New Mexico in the house. Hey, Jameson, how's New Mexico? Is it nice there? I bet it's much warmer than it is here. So I'm a little jealous. I'm a little tired of the cold weather, which... Strainy. Sir, can you give me a cracked egg? No, I cannot give you a cracked egg. Eggs are actually very expensive right now. I don't know if you know this, but like eggs are like gold at the moment. I went to the store on Sunday. Sunday or Saturday. I think it was Sunday. 60 eggs. A 60 pack of eggs was like $30. It was like, so basically like 50 cents an egg. It's unbelievable. Jameson, 70s next week, been 50s. Nice. Yeah, I'm a little jealous, man. Like in July, I'll hate the warm weather, but about this time of year, I'm ready for it to start warming up. I work out in my garage, and it is cold there, man. It is cold in the garage. Masara, what is this language? It's English. It's the English language. Strainy. It's because they're feeding chickens steroids. I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the breakout of some sort of flu. So they had to get rid of a bunch of birds. Really shitty situation for everybody. You know. All right, so. let's just Strainy, I'm the biggest bird. I don't know about that, man. Picks or it didn't happen, you know? People be making lots of big claims up here and lots of big claims in the YouTube comments. What? This is inconsistent accessibility. Base command is less accessible. What does that mean? So how did I do it over here? Oh, I guess I made it public. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so now we need some way to represent our settings because we basically need to we need like public string settings, yeah, settings path. And so we're going to want to inject the file file system we don't want to put it here. We actually just want to put it right next to the binary. Yeah, so what we actually want to do is we actually just want to say wherever this thing is running, we just want to say file system dot path file system dot path dot combine app context, and we're actually gonna just do we're gonna just save it right to the app settings file. Because in our program CS, we are gonna load that, or we should already be loading that, I think, by default. Excuse me. Let's just see if the command works. So we'll say console markup line. This will persist the key for provider. Oh, and then we need to return like that. And we need to go to our command, our extensions, I think it is, host builder extensions. And we need to add ourselves a new command. So we'll say app.configure, and then we can pass this a lambda. And we can say C. Yeah, I don't think I want to do any of that. I think I just want to add a command. Add a command. This is going to be called config command, like that. I am missing a namespace. Wants me to use a lambda, that's fine. Can't forget the semis. Can't forget those semicolons. And this just needs to go in my usings. Okay, so we should be able to now, if this all worked, is it just me here? Is anybody in the chat? Yeah, so I don't know if this is any better from for this type of a stream. I honestly don't know if vertical is the way to go. Maybe it makes sense to do these horizontal. I don't know. I thought doing them vertical might mean that more people will actually join in. But yeah, I guess I was wrong, you know? But the screen, actually, I was worried about the screen being too small. It's actually not terrible. Like when I look at it on my phone, it's actually not terrible. So I don't know. Maybe I'll stick with this. Maybe I won't. Who knows? I'm just trying different things from a content perspective. Just trying to see what works. Okay, disable. Make this a little bigger. We're gonna CD into software. We're gonna CD into Alt-Gen. And then we're gonna say .NET Run Project, or not, .NET Run Project, and we're gonna say source Alt-Gen console. And then we just pass the help option. And we should have a new command here that says config. Okay, cool. Oh, hey, Santiago. What's up, man? How are you doing? It's nice to see you this evening. Nice to hear from you. There's a little bit of a delay. I'm going through Restream, so the delay is much more significant than when I stream from my phone. So apologies if it feels like I respond late to your message. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay, and then if I do config -- help, we need the provider to configure, the key for the provider, and default. Cool. Okay, so the first thing my thing needs to do is it needs to see if there's already an app settings file. So the first thing I need to do is I need to say var exists. Yep, like that. And then, and I actually want to change this, the name of this. You still here, Santiago? I said hi. I don't know. You never said anything back, man. I don't know if you heard me. Yeah, and then I want to say the same thing here. I need to inject the file system here. Read only I file system. Get that. Pass that in from the constructor, which I don't have yet. Like this. And then we'll say if, actually that variable is terribly named. settings exist. So if settings exist, so basically if the settings exist is false, we want to basically, what do we want to do here? We basically just want to we want to initialize a new settings object of some kind, and then persist this to the file system. If it does exist, and then return, then we just want to exit and exit. If it doesn't, if it does exist, then we want to read the settings file. Yeah, we want to read the settings file. I guess I'm just thinking, like, could we get away with somehow reusing the configuration from the host? Is basically what I'm thinking. That's where my brain's at the moment. I think we'll just start here and deserialize it into a settings object, and update the key for the provider. Okay, so we need to actually define what these are, and I'm not sure where to put this. Should I put this in the config directory, or should I put it in the common? I don't know. I don't think it really fucking matters with an app this small, honestly. Sometimes I just overthink shit way too much when it comes to building. Let's just put it in this file for now. Let's just actually, yeah, let's just stick it in this config command file. We'll figure out where to put it later. So, let's call it, it can honestly just be a record, huh? Yeah, so we need provider settings, but then we also just need like a top level, record, which is app settings, and it's going to have a provider's key, which is an array. So like that. That's perfect, Copilot. Way to go, Copilot. And then all we're going to do here is we're going to say var app settings equals new app settings equals new collection of provider settings. But we can simplify this. We can do a collection expression, which is my favorite C# feature at the moment. I love that. It's like it feels like you're writing JavaScript, but you're writing C#. It's lovely. And I don't think I need this. I think this can just be new. And then here we're gonna write to the file system. So we'll say, well, yeah, I guess we'll turn that into a string, and then we'll say file system. We'll make this async call like that, and we need to make this method async, and then we just need to return, so we're happy. And now this guy right here can be return 0, like that. And actually, I also want to have this be a private static. What is it? Private static read-only JSON serializer. We'll write them indented. We also want to set the case insensitivity to true, so we don't care if it's what case it is. And the song now is tilting me. I don't know why. Sometimes this is actually a really cool website. It's called lofigenerator.com, and it's basically the place where I get all the music that I use when I stream or record video, because it's algorithmically generated, so you don't have to worry about copyright issues. But some of the music, sometimes I land on a song that just doesn't do it for me. Yeah, and then we'll hit the JSON options. Oh, it doesn't like my naming convention because this is a static. We can remove that. Okay, so now what I should be able to do, right, is I should be able to say basically the same thing, but now I can say Gemini, and then I can say just a made up key like this. Oh, I think it did. I think it did persist the. I think it did write the file, but I had the weird print statement there. Let's see. So if we go to bin and we go to debug, we go to net9. We should have an app settings file in here now. Yep, app settings.json. And there's our providers. But I want these to be lowercase actually. That's just a nitpick of mine. So we actually need to set this to. We actually need to set this to not just property name case insensitive. We need to set it to property naming policy. It's going to be camel case. Let's see. Private. Flores. Hey, I already config NVim DApp for Rust or me DApp for Rust and Python. That's awesome, man. Was it tough? Was it difficult to get it configured? Because I felt like it was pretty straightforward for. It was very straightforward for doing server-side JavaScript. It was not straightforward for doing browser JavaScript. It just took me a little while. And it was not super straightforward for C#. But I don't know. I guess that's kind of the fun of NeoVim, is doing all the digging and configuration. And yes, I would agree, Flores. Understanding LSPs and debug adapter protocol is difficult. I 100% agree with you there. You end up going down a very deep, dark rabbit hole. But I will say, having done this now, VS Code seems less of a mystery to me, right? Like how does all that sweet VS Code magic work? Now we sort of know, like, there is probably some VS Code magic there, but a lot of it now you kind of have a better mental model that there's these multiple pieces of software that are doing the heavy lifting, right? It's not just all one piece of software. It's like all these cobbled together tools, which is pretty cool. Do you also, Flores? You said you write Rust. How long did it take you to learn Rust? I tried starting to learn Rust at the beginning of this year, and then, well, I should say at the end of last year. Then I started making a lot of content, and I haven't really gone back to doing some daily studying of Rust. So, Flores, I listened to you from Bolivia. Oh, that's awesome, dude. They're actually the first person from Bolivia that I've had in my chat. So thank you very much for for stopping into the live stream, and thank you very much for liking my content. I appreciate that. It's not always around NeoVim stuff because I just started getting into NeoVim, but I probably will still continue to make content around it as I go, as I learn more things. That's kind of like my whole plan with my content. Is just when I learn stuff or I figure something out, I'm just gonna share it, and maybe it's helpful to somebody. Maybe somebody else can teach me something. But that's kind of my plan for it moving forward. Is the weather nice there in Bolivia, Flores? Because it's very cold here. Okay, let's delete this guy. And now let's rerun this. Nice. Gemini has been configured. Disciple Zach. Christ is Lord. Hey, Disciple Zach. Thanks for the comment, man. I appreciate that. You've been in my chat once before. Actually, you had mentioned, I think, Disciple Zach, you had mentioned you were a trainer or a coach of some kind, fitness related. Am I remembering that right? Molly Pardo. Hey, bro. Who you prefer, Hitler or Mussolini? I prefer neither. Both were bad dudes. So, yeah. Both were bad dudes. Okay, so now what we need to do... Kajani Adventures. Hi, just got on the bus. It's 6:30 a.m. Good morning, y'all. Really, Kajani? You went to bed? So I've streamed 3 times today, and in that time you've gone to bed, woke back up. Are you headed to school? Is that why you're up so early? Because that is very early to already be on the bus. Hey, Kajani, I haven't actually taken a minute to look at your code yet, but it's on my list of things to do. I want to look at it for myself off stream first, so that way I don't completely butcher any of the things you've written, and kind of understand what it is this game does. But then once I've had a chance to review it off stream, I'll show it on stream. So. But I just wanted to let you know I hadn't forgot about you. Alright, so now all we need to do is in the next section of our config command, we just need to now, if it does exist, we need to read it. So we'll basically just do the inverse of this. So we'll say var JSON. We'll read that in, and then we'll say, yep, we'll just serialize with those same settings, and let's actually, can I tighten this up? Yeah, let's tighten this up a little bit. Okay, so now then once we have the app settings, we should try to find the provider. So if app settings is null here, something has gone very wrong, in which case we should throw. So we can just throw new. Yeah, we can just do something like that. And then Do I have any custom exceptions? I don't think I do. Do I? Oh yeah, I do. Alt text exception. Let's create a new exception for ourselves then in here. And we'll just call it class config exception like that. And we'll throw this. Okay, so if provider is null, then we want to add to it. Else we want to update the key and update the settings. Yep. But these are init only properties, so we actually need to. So these are records, so we can actually do something a little bit different here. We can say var updated provider, this, and then we can say let's see. So actually what we could do is we could actually say var updated providers equals, yep, equals that, and then we can say app settings like that. And then we just need to write that out. So we'll serialize it, we'll write it out, and we'll say this has been configured. I don't think I like this approach though. Did you delete my comment or did it not send? I guess it didn't send, man. I'm streaming through Restream, so maybe my filter caught it, because I put like some bad word filters on here a couple days ago, so maybe that's what caught it. And Molly, you can go F yourself. Get the hell out of here. Oh, I think I'm not. Yeah. Okay. Now, are you talking about when Molly asked if I prefer Hitler or Mussolini? Yeah, she should get the hell out of here. I may not be seeing some of these comments though, because I think I filtered them, or maybe Restream's not passing them through. Let me go to my stream on YouTube. No, I think that must be what happened. I think my comment filter is catching some of these things. But yeah, I wondered, Kajani, why you're on the bus so early. That seems very early to be on the bus. Yeah, we need this. We need to do it like that. Good morning, though. Yeah, good morning, man. How you doing? Isn't it like 2? Yeah, it's 10:40. It's 10:40. I started streaming kind of late. I started like right around 10 o'clock. And I'll probably go for an hour-ish or so. What are you doing up so early though, Kajani? God, that's a really long line. I don't like that at all. It's a mild 0 degrees Fahrenheit here today. Oh my goodness. Hey, no joke. It was 3 degrees here. 3 degrees Fahrenheit here today. You've got me beat, but yeah, that's cold, man. I'm not. Is the bus warm though? Hope the bus is warm. Oh, I can't declare that here, so I guess I should rename this. Okay, that's what I was just getting ready to ask if you if the bus was warm, but you answered my question. You're freezing. Yeah, that was a bad move on the bus driver's part. I hope to God one of my friends stumbles upon you so they go, wait a minute, I know. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Yeah, that'd be cool. I would love to have some more audience members in Finland. Alright, that should be basic. That, I think, actually is all I need to make this work. Which seems way simpler than I had it in my mind. So let's kind of go through this. Let's see, so let's delete the app settings. So I should be able to run this guy here. And this should create a new file, which is Gemini. It's made up. Okay, then I should be able to update this. So I should be able to say config, Gemini, new key, and I should be able to say defaults. Yep. Yeah, that worked. And then I should be able to add somebody. So I should be able to say config, Anthropic. Or I guess maybe I'll call it Claude. Claude key. Cool. I gotta get going. I gotta nap the school ride. Yeah, man. Take off, yeah. Have a good nap on the bus, man. Stay warm. Sounds very cold there, but thanks for dropping in again, man. I appreciate you stopping by all my lives. It's very kind of you. Okay, so I see one problem with my implementation. I think, right, so if I set one default, if I set a default, I need to wipe out the default that's already set. So, config, command. I'm probably only also going to stream for another 10 minutes or so, just as a heads up. So I'm going to kind of get this to a stopping point and then probably wrap up. So we basically need to handle I think this all honestly, this logic should probably go inside the settings itself, shouldn't it? Like maybe we have like Gorthy. Yo, Steven, caught your stream last night. Dropped a queue. Now it's morning. What's the time on your end? Love from Pack, bro. Hey, Gorthy. Hey, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you catching the stream last night. I appreciate you dropping in again tonight. So my time is 10:46 p.m. right now. That's what my time is. What time? I guess that you're morning, so I guess you're just getting your day started, huh? Also, the song has shifted again, and it's tilting me. For the most part, it does a pretty good job, though. Generating music, I feel like. So I'm wondering, so I guess what I'm wondering is maybe I just need to have like like it's 9:47 a.m. Oh, okay, nice. So your morning's kind of in full swing, huh? That's awesome. You got any big plans for your day? What is it? It's Wednesday, right? So you got any big plans for your Wednesday? I think what I want to do is I want to say existing app settings dot update. And I think I just want to be able to pass in the settings object. Yeah, I think I just want to be able to pass that in. Or maybe just update. And then I'm thinking this should all just live in here. Put some logic in this record class. Let's see, public void update, and this will be basically all that same logic. Our provider, like that. Oh no, that can't be static. I'm missing a settings here. Learning Flexbox. Oh man, I love Flexbox. I actually, I love Flexbox. Actually, I prefer Flexbox to. Well, that doesn't exist. CodePen. I actually prefer Flexbox for layouts. You're gonna get me all distracted here. Hazik, huh? What are you referring to, Hazik? Oh, Hazik, I didn't see your earlier question. Hey man, what are you doing? I am actually working on a small little application to help me generate alt text for images. So I have an API that's out there. Actually, I can demo it for you. I have an API that's deployed out there that I can use to generate alt text. So let me get this pulled up here for you. So if I change this from localhost to api.altgen.stevenfreeborn.com, and I have this image, this test image here, which is, it's basically a picture of Baby Yoda. I should be able to send this. Oh, it's rate limited. Someone's been hitting that endpoint. or I shouldn't say someone, it was me earlier testing it out. But basically it returns alt text for a given image. And so now what I'm working on over here is I'm working on a console application to that basically can hit that API. And then I'm also going to build a small little web app that can take an image and hit the same API. It's just a small little fun project that I started working on. And so when I sat down tonight to stream, I thought, what can we work on? And this is what I picked. But what I was going to say to Grothly about Flexbox is I much prefer Flexbox for layouts. Yeah, like tons of things I built are Flexbox. Let's see, like this app. It has tons of Flexbox around it. I think the majority of the layouts on this app are all Flex. I used Tailwind, I think, for this app, but it was all Flexbox. Did I accidentally pulled OBS onto this screen? So yeah, I'm jealous of you getting to learn Flexbox for the first time, because that was a very positive experience. It made me look at websites differently and how to lay them out. And suddenly layouts didn't seem so overwhelming. Like I could look at a site and be like, okay, I know how I could achieve that. Strainy, bro is playing with my mind. What do you mean, Strainy? I don't know what you mean by that. I'm not trying to. Are you real, sir? Yes, I am real. But why do you say I'm? Why do you think I'm not? I guess is the more important question. Okay, so we'll say var. That's updated providers. And then we'll say we actually want to return out of here a new app settings. So Strainy, I think you are AI. No, I swear I'm not AI, man. I'm not. I swear. I'd be able to code a lot faster and explain it a lot better if I was AI. Yeah. And I think the other thing I want to do in here is I need to say if settings is default and the provider is default, so I need to say if settings dot default and P is default and key is not the same as the provider, then I need to set that to false. Yeah, I think that can actually be expressed more elegantly. So if provider is not the settings provider, and settings default and settings dot default, then we need to change it to false, like that. Gorthy, I'm 19. What age did you start coding? So I'm 31, and I started coding. What would have been 2018? So I made a video like all about. So if you go to my channel, there is a video on my channel that kind of talks through. You don't have to go watch the video, but if you're curious, I did make a video called How I Learned to Code. So if you're interested, here's the link. But it basically just talks through like homework. I didn't mean to turn it on, but basically talks through like my journey of learning to code. But the first code I wrote was in 20. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry, Gorthy. I'm explaining this badly. So when I was in college, my senior year, I took Programming 1 and Programming 2 as electives. I was a biochemistry major. And both those classes were in C#. I had a blast, but I was already a biochem major, so I just kind of stuck with my degree and finished it. Fast forward, so that would have been 2014, 2015. Fast forward to like 2018, 2019. I got the bug that I wanted to change careers. I was working as a food scientist, but I thought, I need to learn another skill. And so I found a course on, I think it was on Duke's website, Duke University's website, that was about learning to code. And I did that course. Then I stopped programming for another like year and a half. And then in 2020, I actually did change jobs and got a job at the company that I work at now. And the company that I work at now builds a piece of software where they use JavaScript as a formula engine. So think of how you can like write formulas in Excel. You can do the same thing in our software, but we use JavaScript to do it. And so I got really deep down the rabbit hole of our formula engine. And then that led me to wanting to learn more about actual programming and coding. So that's when I started kind of seriously. That would have been like the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. I got really serious about learning how to code, particularly learning how to do web development. And I started on Free Code Camp and basically just went ham on their program. So I would say I started like really learning how to code at age 28-ish. And I'm 31 now. I'll be 32 in April. So I would say for about 4 years, I've been seriously focusing on it. If you want to know the real inspiration to like drill down on it, was my oldest son started elementary school. And so when he started elementary school, I said, okay, he's gonna go to elementary school for 5 years or 6 years. And he's gonna be so much smarter and so much more capable from kindergarten to 5th grade. And I said, when these years pass, I want to be more capable. I want to have a skill set. I want to have a new skill set at the end of these years. I want to apply myself to something and develop a skill in something the same way he's developing all these skills. And so I picked programming and coding, and that's really kind of what's driven me, because I know the time's going to pass, and I want to put it to good use and try to make myself better in the process. So that was kind of the inspiration to really start to take it seriously. And so far it's paid off. It's given me a ton of opportunities at work. Yeah, and I don't care what any of the AI hype bros say. Learning to code is always a good use of time, in my opinion. AI or no AI. Maybe in the future it's you doing less of the actual writing of the code, maybe. But I still think learning how to do it and being able to read it and understand it and think about it, both at a low level and a high level, is a useful use of time. Okay, so what we can do now that we encapsulated that is we can come down here. We can delete all that. And then we can say var updated JSON. can say updated app settings. Okay. Now with that change, now we should be able to handle updating default. So this is our current situation. So let's just delete that real quick. And let's start from a fresh slate again. So we'll say Gemini made up key. Okay. So let's look at this. That's correct. And then we'll say Gemini made up key, set that to default. That's been configured. Let's see. Okay, that didn't work. Because that should have set this to be true, and it did not. So what are we doing wrong? We're doing something wrong. Okay, we don't need this anymore. This provider, we don't need that anymore. Oh, that's why, because we're not actually writing out the updated JSON. Okay, let's start our testing over. And I need to write some proper unit tests for this, but in the sake of just proving that this configuration now works, let's do it manually. Let's see, Gemini has been configured. Great, yes it has. Then we'll go default. Okay, this should set this to true, it does. Okay, and then if we add a new guy, let's add Claude to the mix. So this should add a configuration for Claude, but it should leave Gemini default, and it didn't. Okay, so Claude has been configured, but Claude is not there. So we need to go back to our config here. Okay, so we're getting the settings, we're updating them, and we're serializing those. That's the update. Okay, so that's all right. It's in here somewhere that we're going wrong. So if provider equals settings, Grothy, I'm not a genius, man. I'm not a genius at all, but yeah, bio and Kitman code. Yeah, I know. Big career change, you know. Biggest area of focus change, but no need to worry about distracting me. That's what I'm here for, is to interact with you guys in chat. But thank you very much for stopping in and saying hi both today and yesterday. Good luck with Flexbox. Come back and tell us everything you learned. And if you need any help, let me know. I'll be happy to talk Flexbox with you, man. Okay, so let's set a breakpoint here. And we are going to do this guy. And so we want to pass config Claude key. Okay, so we'll step over this. Okay, so what are the updated providers now? I don't think I can see them in this view, can I? Step over. Let's set a breakpoint up here. Space DT. Step over. Step over. Thanks, bro. Gotta bounce now. Catch you later. Peace out. See you, Gorthley. Have a good night, man. Or good morning, I should say. Have a good day. Have a good Wednesday. Okay, so what's the updated app settings? The providers. So there's just one. This is Gemini. Okay, so we're not getting... Oh, that's because we're not handling the case of when this is null. So we're just missing a whole piece of logic here. Yeah, we're just missing basically a whole piece of logic. So if provider is null, we need to create a new provider. We sort of want to do that, Copilot, but not 100% like that, because excuse me. So we have new provider, which is great. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I can actually do... Yeah, okay, so what I'm thinking is I should always do the update step. Like this. And then what I should do is I should say, if provider is null, so if provider is null, we will actually do this. If provider is null, we will say var new provider, like that. And then we'll say providers. Doesn't providers look like it's spelled weird? Is that how you spell providers? Am I spelling providers wrong? Maybe I've just been staring at it for too long. No, that's how you spell it. It's like when you say a word too many times and it starts to sound funny. Is my stream still up? It says, hold on, we're connecting to your channels. Yeah, it's still up. Or I think it's still up. Yeah, it looks like it's still up. Okay. Huh, I don't know. It says to activate chat, please enable channels here. Okay, what's the deal? It's like lost connection, I guess, for a minute. Okay, I'm getting to the end of this. Let's see. Okay, so I don't want to do this. I want to do updated providers. I want to do updated providers like that. So basically the logic here is we're always going to update the provider. Oops. Yeah. So we'll always update the providers, right? So if the provider is already existing, we will make sure and update it. But we're also going to make sure and account for the fact that if there's any existing providers that have been set to default, we're going to turn them to false, except for the provider that's in the settings. Then we'll come down here and we'll figure out, okay, is that existing provider actually there? If the existing provider is not there, or the given provider is not already existing, then we'll create a new provider and we'll return the new provider and the updated providers. Otherwise, we'll just return the updated providers because our provider's already there. That seems a little convoluted, but that's the logic. So with that in place now, let's delete our app settings file. Let's say back over here, we'll say Gemini made up key. Okay, that should give us Gemini. Then we'll set Gemini to be the default. Now we'll add Claude. Hopefully this works. Yep, it worked. Peter Gozinha. You're lame, bro. You're one lame individual. I guess that's a new word I need to add to my comments list. I guess, Peter, you just walk around people's streams in the evenings here on YouTube and make comments like that. That's a wild way to live, bro. It's a wild way to live. Okay, so we should be able to make Claude default now. So let's make Claude default. If Claude's made default, Gemini should not be default anymore. Which that is the case. And then we should be able to update them. So if I say Claude config, so let's do Claude config, updated key. He should still be default, and his key should be up to date. Ah, shoot. There's an edge case. Nice, Peter. Wonderful. How about you get the fuck out of here, Peter? How about that, man? Boom. Get the fuck out of here, Peter. I do like to block people on YouTube. It's a good experience. Does Restream? I guess Restream doesn't support Twitch chat, huh? So if people have been commenting, I haven't seen them, which I apologize. I don't know, Restream's integration with TikTok doesn't seem that great. But I definitely got more views over on TikTok than I did on Twitch, that's for sure. I'm gonna have to keep the TikTok stream open though in a browser window because it's not coming through in Restream. So yeah, so if you've been on TikTok and I've missed your comment, I apologize. I did not know that was a thing. Did not know it was a thing. What's up, Jordan? I see some people now on TikTok joining, so that's pretty cool. If you're joining on TikTok, leave a message. I can see the comments now. I haven't been able to see the comments this whole time. Which I apologize for that. Okay, so basically now the problem here is I updated the key, but then I also turned it false, which I didn't want to do, I think. Or do I? No, I think that's right. Like I think that makes sense, right? So if you're configuring Claude and you say update key and you don't pass default, it should set it to false. So in order to get it to work, you should have to say default. Did that update it though? I don't think that updated it. Yeah, it did. Okay. And then if I want to change Gemini, I can say Gemini update key, like that. And I could also say Gemini update key / default. And that should make Gemini the default and Claude not the default. Cool. Okay, I guess now it begs the question, should you be able to remove should you be able to remove a provider? Probably, right? You should probably be able to remove a provider. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to close that. But I do have the config command working, so that's good. It's a plus. I'm surprised there's not more chat on TikTok. It's kind of surprising, actually, that there isn't more comments. Let's see. So we're gonna go config. What do I want to say here? I guess I want to add a to-do somewhere, but I'm not sure where I should add it. So I did this. So let's just write a new to-do so that when I come back to this again, I'll know where the heck I left. Probably should support. Actually, we should be able to add this pretty easily to the config command, shouldn't we? Right? We can just add an option that'll clear it. So we'll say public bool clear, like this, right? And we'll say clear the configuration for the provider. And these should be required, so yeah, they're required. So those are required. So then if someone passes the clear option, what do we want to do then? So we'll update the provider. Yeah. Now if somebody passes the clear flag, This is kind of messy logic. I feel like this needs to be refactored at some point. Yeah, I feel like the clear option should be almost like a short circuit. Actually, now that I'm thinking about this, this needs to be refactored. This just needs to be different. These just need to be different commands. Yeah, this just needs to be different commands. We shouldn't muddle the water, muddy the water here. So to do, we should refactor this so that we have a config add and a config remove. The config add will have basically the same code as below, but the config remove will just accept a provider ID identifier and remove it. So we'll do that. I'll do that. Future Steven will do that at some point, because I'm already over the hour I said I was going to stream tonight. So that's going to be future Steven's problem. One thing I do want to check though is I want to see if let's see. I want to see if config command. I'm just gonna do a quick test real quick here. So if I was to load, if I was to do, the reason why I'm writing the configuration to the app settings file is because I think the host automatically loads that file without me having to do anything extra. So let's come down here and say that, and then say var section equals that, and actually it's lowercase. Let's see. I think that's okay. And then let's just say for each provider. And I just want to write the provider out. So console dot markup line bound provider, like that. I basically just want to see if the host is loading that file like I expect it to. So clear, disable read line, chin. So now let's do this. Okay, so it didn't find it. Interesting. So maybe I have to explicitly... let's set a breakpoint here. And let's config Gemini key -- default. Okay, and then let's step over that. Okay, so where's the config? Item parameter count mismatch. Yeah, I thought the host automatically loads app settings.json. So I might have to do a little bit of digging. Step over. Yeah, there's nothing in providers. Providers is empty. So yeah, so we're not loading it like I thought we were. Which is fine. That's for future Steven to figure out. I'm gonna call this good for tonight. Git add git. Actually, this branch name is completely wrong now. Oh no, I'm adding the console app. So git add git commit m feature initial config command implementation. Like that. We'll push that up. Do a quick peek on. I don't know how to get to my. Like, it's weird on TikTok, my stream doesn't show up on my profile. And I don't know why. Like, it doesn't show I'm live. But if I search for myself, I can find myself in the live, which is kind of weird. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody commented. So I don't think I missed anybody's comments on TikTok. Mohammed Faiz, hi sir. Remember me? I do remember you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for leaving a note in the chat. I'm actually getting ready to hop off here. So I started streaming about 9 o'clock. It's 11:30 now. I need to be wrapping up. So thanks for stopping in though. I don't mean to jump out right as you jump in. It's just the way it goes sometimes. So I'll be back though. I don't know. I might stick with the vertical stream for a couple nights and see how that goes, and maybe switch back to the horizontal sometimes. I don't know. Seems like the vertical stream might be better for being able to stream to TikTok and YouTube. So I don't know. We'll experiment. If you guys have any feedback or thoughts, let me know. I would love to hear them. Onyx the Great. Take care, bro. Have a great day. Yep, you too, man, Onyx. I'll see you guys. You guys have a